All right, welcome back to my channel. This is Luis Rivera, and thank you for being here. Today, let's talk about passion for doing things, the thing that keeps you moving forward, that thing that keeps your dreams alive and helps you to keep on moving forward, despite of what you're going through, despite of whatever it is happening in your life, with your finances, with your family, with your friends, despite of whatever is happening in the world, politics, your job, and all that, and you still keep that spark alive, and you keep pushing yourself towards that goal that you want to accomplish, to that dream, towards that dream. So, what is it that keeps you moving? And how do you do it? How do you fight procrastination? How do you fight those moments when you know that you have to do something towards your goal? Maybe you have to call a customer. Maybe you have to take a drive, go visit somebody. Maybe you have to do some computer work or whatever it is that you have to do. Probably build an office or call that person so that way they can start looking for an office because you want to start your business. Um, but you feel like you don't want to make the moves because procrastination keeps hitting you. So how do you move forward? How do you keep on going even when things are going hard? Things are happening in a way that is not what you expected that it was going to happen. You had a dream and you thought that everything was going to be wonderful, that everything was going to be easy and people were going to help you. But it's not like that, right? You have found bumps on the road, and every time they just keep delaying that dream, and so you feeling defeated every time that you postpone something for another day. You feel defeated. You feel like a failure because you know that you should be doing something and you're not doing it, and you don't feel good about it. So how do you fight all those things? And despite of all those things, keep on moving forward. How do you do that? I was talking to one of my friends, and he got a business. He goes and he sells fruit and juice and a lot of things made out of fruit to people. And I was talking to him, and I was like, so how do you go every day about doing all this and feeling excited? Because every time I see you, you come over here with all this spark. You come over here with all this joy. Like if it is your first time, like if everything is going so well, like you're having a good time, and I have never seen you down. And meanwhile, I'm here always feeling depressed, feeling sad because things may not be going my way. But you, on the other hand, you keep doing it like very cheerfully, and how do you do that? And so he was telling me that you just have to put it in your head that you have to go at it, whether you feel good or bad. You still gotta go and try your best. And he was telling me how he moved from his country. He moved to another country. He went to Peru, and he started a few businesses there, and he got successful at it. And then he decided to come to the States, and he came here, but he wanted to start from zero. And he was telling me, Louis, I have slept in my car. I have slept on the streets. He said, I went to Walmart and I bought a tent. And then I was sleeping on the street as I was selling my product at the light, on the street lights. And I was like, so how do you do that? I mean, you're telling me that you have businesses back home, and you're telling me that you came here and you were living a life of homeless. And he was telling me, yeah, because when you really want to do something, you have to do whatever it takes. And if you want things to happen, you have to take a different approach, not like everybody else. He said, if I rented an apartment and trying to get a car, start making payments on a car, get an apartment, this and that, all the money that I had to start my dream, I would have spent it on all that. And he said, no, I had to start from zero and feel the pain from the beginning, so that way that could push me to keep moving forward and realize the dream that I'm trying to realize. And guess what? He said, being out there on the streets, sleeping in a tent, and getting up early and go take showers at the gym and then go sell my product and all that. That kept me motivated to do better and better every day, so that way eventually I can be in a better place. And he said, guess what? It very quickly happened. Very quickly, I started knocking on doors uh, every day, going at it, and now I'm doing a lot better. My business is thriving, and but I was intentional from day one. And I had no other choice. He said, when you are sleeping in a tent at a street light, you have no choice but to be intentional and just keep on going. If I was in an apartment and I was cozy at my apartment and everything was good, I probably would have procrastinated, he said. And I just couldn't believe when he was telling me all those things. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because I probably would have done that. Um, but that was what he believed that was going to help him to keep him moving forward. And he actually did. He did really good. And then now he's doing really good. And he's an example. And he was telling me all those things. And I was like, this is crazy. Because yes, I have a good life and I have everything I want. I have everything I need. But the dreams that I have for the future, the bigger picture, what I really desire, those things I feel like I'm moving really slow and I'm not getting there fast enough to get fulfillment. And so it got me thinking. And maybe the thing that will push you forward is not getting your dream. It may be just going at it every day and then find the way that will help you to keep you motivated. It may not be my way to go on the streets and live in a tent. I cannot do that. I have a family. But I have to find what I can use to motivate myself to keep doing it every day. And due to my situation, since everybody got unique situations, due to my situations, I cannot go 100% at it and forget about everything else because I just can't do that. I have to pay attention to my family. I have to make time for my family. I have to make time for my other jobs, the ones that are bringing income, and at the same time keep an eye on my dream and keep working on my dream. And it's really hard. It is. Sometimes I feel like I'm just not moving anywhere. I'm just stuck where I am, and the weeks are passing, the months are passing, and I look at myself and I'm like, your dream hasn't really moved at all. It's still so far away. It's not getting any closer. But every day I try to do something, maybe something really small, or at least keep looking at things that will keep the dream alive. And I keep doing those things, listening to podcasts, watching videos that motivate me, whatever it is that keeps me motivated. I keep doing it so I can keep the dream alive. And so that way I know that eventually I will get done what I'm doing right now and I will move to the next stage and then I will move to the next stage and so on and so on. When I was in El Salvador and I was 19 years old, I remember one of my coworkers asking me, hey, Luis, what's your dream? And I didn't know what to answer because nobody had ever asked me that question. I was like, what do you mean? What's my dream? And he said, yeah, your dream. And you know, like your, the biggest dream you have for your life, the something, that thing that you desire the most, the thing that you want to accomplish. And I was like, I don't know. Nobody has ever asked me that question. And he said, but think about it. Do you have anything that you will really, really want to have in life, that you would go for it, that is your passion? And I said, well, maybe I would like to build a house. And he said, good, that's good. And he said, do you have any idea how much will cost you to buy the land and then buy materials and then pay the people that will build the house and all that? And I was like, well, actually, I know a person that does that, so I kind of have an idea of what it costs to build a house. And My dad just sold a piece of land, so I have an idea what the land cost. Okay, and he said, put those numbers together. And so I did, and he asked me like, okay, so now you know how much it will cost you to build a house. And he said, well, Louis, um, with the money that you are making, and at the end of the week, after all the expenses, how much are you saving? And I said, well, nothing, because basically pretty much I use everything for paying rent and buying food and transportation and everything else. So he said, so you're not saving anything? I said, no. And he said, well, if you know how much you're making and you know how much you're saving, which is nothing, how many years is it going to take you to save what you need in order to pay for all the expenses for building a house, buying the land and all that? And it was very clear, to me that it was never going to happen, because even if I went harder on my job and made more money and start saving a little bit, I was never going to be able to save enough to put a bunch of money together and then buy a piece of land and then build a house. So I told him, I guess I will never be able to do that. And he said, yeah, sounds about right. And he said, but there's something you can do about it. There's a place where you can go and you can work hard and make money, and you will be able to build a house over here, but you will have to go to that place. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, you have to move to the States. You have to go and work at the States and save as much as you can, and then buy that land, and then build the house. And he got me thinking. I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. So at 19 years old, I made the decision to move to the States. I talked to my dad. I told him the situation, the idea I had behind that that talk of moving to the States. And he liked the idea. He was like, yeah, I'll support you. I'll try to help you, and we'll make it happen. So I moved to the States when I was 19, and I did what my friend told me to do. I came and worked hard and made money, and then I was saving most of it. And then I was able to do those things, to pay for the land and build a house. And it happened in like 4 years, and I was so excited. And then I had the house, right? So I was like, well, I got the house. So now what? And so basically I fulfilled that dream. I completed that dream, but then there was nothing else past that. And then I started feeling empty, and I called my brother, and I was like, hey, I think I'm ready to move back home. I got the house, and I just go back and be there with y'all. And he said, well, there's not much for you to do over here. Like there's not jobs around, and things are pretty bad over here with politics and the violence on the streets and all that. You should probably stay where you are, especially if you're doing good. And then at that moment, I made another decision. I decided to stay in the States, and then I had to create another goal. What was the reason that I was gonna stay here, and then start working at it. My brother said, if you're gonna stay there, just might as well start thinking about creating a family. So um, look for the person that is going to be the love of your life, and find that person, and just like everybody else, create a family and enjoy life in the States. So I was like, okay, so I decided to do that. And um, and then I put a mental goal of what I wanted to find, since I was among so many different type of people, different races, and me being a Latino, and then having friends that were black, and also people that I knew that were white, and I was like, okay, so now I gotta start thinking about what am I gonna do, and what is it that I want, and and who is this person that I'm gonna go look for. And so I started creating ideas of who I wanted to be with for the rest of my life, and that was the next goal I had, which I ended up accomplishing it. And but then after I was able to um, meet my wife and eventually start, dating her and then getting married and all that, I had to continue with adding more goals so that way I could keep going. And what I have realized is that the biggest goal is to keep adding things to your life so that way you always have something to keep working for. Because if we try to accomplish small goals, eventually we will accomplish them, but then we will be stuck and we will not know what to do. So if we think big and we have a huge goal and our goal is to something in common, like be happy, have a great family, do very well in the finances, to probably have a business and be healthy. Those are the things that have they don't end. They don't have a ending point. You can continue doing that. If your goal is to stay healthy, you can stay healthy until the day you die. So it will never stop. If your goal is to do good with your finances, you will have to work on that until the day you die. If your goal is to have friends, if your goal is to be loved by your family and help your family and do all that, you can do those things until the day you die and protect your family, be a good member of your community. Whatever the things are that you can add to the big picture, those things will keep you motivated to keep on going. And so that way you can keep accomplishing small goals. And when the small goal is accomplished, you will not feel defeated because you will have something bigger to continue going for. And and I have found out that that's what I've been doing, even though at the moment when I feel like I'm stuck in the small goal that I'm trying to work on, I feel defeated. I feel like I'm procrastinating. I feel like I'm not moving anywhere. And just like everybody else, I feel the pain and I don't like it. And it's hard. It's hard to feel like you're being defeated, like you're not moving. But at the same time, you have to take time to relax and think about everything else that you have done. And then just think about, hey, this is just another goal that I'm working on. And eventually this will get done. And eventually I will move to the next thing. And I have to remember that if I feel like this right now with this small goal that I'm trying to accomplish, when I have the next one, I will feel probably the same way. So I just got to remember that that's part of the process. Feeling like this is something that helps me to continue trying new things, because if I'm trying to accomplish a goal but the work that I'm doing is not working, this is telling me maybe you should try a different type of work. Try this, try a new way, try a new way. And then eventually something will work and eventually you will get this goal accomplished. So where are you at right now in your goals? Where are you at right now? How do you feel about what you're trying to accomplish? Do you feel like you're stuck? Do you feel like things are going smooth, that they are moving forward and you feel great? That's good. If that's what's happening, just keep on going, keep moving, keep adding more things to your goals. And if you feel like you're stuck, you have to remember that you are doing what you can. And the reason why you feel stuck is because you haven't found the way that things will move a little bit faster. And maybe things are moving. They're just moving so slow that you are not able to see that things are moving. And that's why you're feeling frustrated. But things are moving forward. And so what you have to do, you have to continue making moves, continue doing the things every day. Try a new thing, or keep trying what you've been trying if you see that it's been working a little bit. And eventually things will start getting shape. And then you will be able to look back and see, oh yeah, I have progressed. I started at this level and now I am here. So yes, things are moving. They're not moving as fast as I wish they would, but they are moving. And so that's why you have to pay attention to that. Life is a long journey. For some is a short journey, but we don't know that. We could live, we can be 100 years old by the time we die, or we can be 80, or we can die tomorrow. We never know. But we cannot think, well, maybe I will die soon, so I will stop trying. No, no, we're gonna think I'll be 100 years old before I die, and therefore I will continue working on this. And look at the progress I have. I've been moving, so I just gotta continue moving. So that's the attitude that you have to take, and you're doing good. You can look back, and sometimes this is what we don't do. We don't try to put together all the accomplishments that we have had. Just look back. If you went to high school and you finished high school, that's an accomplishment. And a lot of people don't think that that's an accomplishment. I only did middle school. I was never able to go to high school. So for me, high school is not an accomplishment. And a lot of people have finished high school, but they don't see that as a accomplishment. But it is an accomplishment. You learned a lot and you did really good. You have a spouse. That's an accomplishment. There's a lot of people out there still looking for their significant other, and they haven't been able to find the one. You do have the one, so you have that great accomplishment. Maybe you have kids, another accomplishment. Maybe you were able to pay your car off. Small accomplishment, but that's an accomplishment. Maybe you were able to lose 5 pounds. Small accomplishment, but it's an accomplishment. So you can look back and think about all the great things that you have been able to do, and then just think that you are able to do it. You have greatness within you, and you have the power that can motivate you. You can motivate yourself to keep on going. And if you're listening to this, that's a sign. That means that you are working towards finding information that can keep motivating you, and things are going to be better. The storm comes, but the storm doesn't stay. The storm comes to pass. And eventually, whatever bad situation, rough situation we're going through will pass, and then we'll see that things are getting better. So keep on going, keep bettering your life, and good luck.